And for us with the Jimmy Iovine's and Ted Fields, yeah, true enough, it was a situation where their company was on the way out, and I had an idea for us. Death Row was gonna take over and not only blow up Death Row, but also blow up Interscope. And I just fell in that factor of the oldest game in the world. For is that you got, I'm not a racist and I don't look at it like that because when I grew up in Compton, we didn't have time for racism. You know, everybody was just middle class or poor. So it wasn't about rich, and it wasn't about poor, it was just people. But as time goes on, people tell you it's serious racism when it comes to business. And you know, by me being ghetto, I'm saying, no, you know, it's not like that. But in my case, it was like that. If with Jimmy Iovine them looked at it and said, okay, Suge Knight got Death Row Records. He got the producer, he got these artists. I mean, for Dre as a producer, he was a producer, making 25 grand maybe a year at Ruthless. When I got him out of Ruthless to be on Death Row, he wasn't a rapper. I'm so I could make you an artist because I was also his manager. So when Interscope seen the whole game unfold for us with Dre and Snoop, then Pac was the biggest star of all of them, and the DOLPH and all these groups, they seen the vision, they wanted it. And you know, I wasn't, by me being a street guy, I wasn't gonna let nobody come up to me and say, I want your label, I want your groups, give it to me. Because I was the only black guy to own his masters, his catalog. And they weren't able to take it from me, but they was able to manipulate, to interfere with my contracts and get the talent. They was able to say, okay, Dre, we want you on Interscope and treat you better, give you more money. That would have been fine, but what they would do is they would give an artist money, but they would still charge it back to me. And I think one of the situations is that they was able to pull their scheme and their ideas off by me being in prison. Because there's two things that I always say, being from the ghetto, either they're gonna take the money from you, which you'll be OJ. If they can't take the money from you, they take you from the money. The only way they take you from the money is by you die, death, or in prison. In my case, it's prison. So it's definitely a lot of situations that it's an eye-opener that people really gotta learn from, not my mistakes, but the way I was treated. And then if you look at a person before you judge me, you gotta look at what the situation that was brought to me. I know you was asking me earlier where I got cut off about Interscope. Like I say, I don't have nothing negative to say about Interscope. At the same time, when Michael Fuchs from Time Warner offered me $80 million and build me 2 state-of-the-art studios and leave Interscope and go strictly with Time Warner, I turned it down because I started with Jimmy and Ted. But if you ask, what have they done for me since I've been incarcerated? Then nobody sent me a book of stamps, a pair of shoes. So I guess a lot of people don't understand the loyalty. I know they got a lot of, took some artists, took some producers, and I mean, before I was incarcerated, but it was in the process of it was already started up. And I know when, I don't have nothing negative about any members ever been on death row. Anything they got going on is good. I wish the best for them. I know when Dre came and had a conversation with me, he said, look, I want some more than anything, and possibly more than anything in the world. And I said, what's that? And he said he wanted to be white. I said, well, look, I ain't God. I can't make you white. I'm a manager and all things. I mean, you can make enough money and you can act white and you can live white, but I can't make you white. And he said, well, Jimmy told me that he could put me on a level where I don't have to cuss on my records and I can live that type of way. He said to Jim, and I was shocked. I was like, well, where all this come from? Being black and all of a sudden you want to be white, I told him the only way to be, white, you probably can never be. But if you can marry a white person and you can then your kids more likely to be more white instead of just black. And, I feel we friends because he take my advice because he done it. He married a white lady, he got, his kids, which is good.